Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm back. Sorry I couldn't put out a video earlier. Some real life interference came up, and then also I remembered that PTR patch notes were going to be releasing quite a bit soon. So I was just like, let me wait until then so I can put out a little bit more of an interesting kind of video. For this one, I think I'm going to talk about the current state of the Demon Hunter, and then I'll proceed to show you guys the changes to the PTR and where they're possibly taking the Demon Hunter. I know this is currently the old, the fresh, the first draft, the rough draft, I guess you can say, for the PTR, but there's a little bit of a direction that they're trying to take the Demon Hunter, so I'll discuss that a little bit further in this video. Alright, so let's start out with the change to certain spells. One of them is just a passive, and one of them is for the actual spell. The first one is crit strikes all across the board, no matter who you are. So long as you are agility, you're getting a 5% damage or 5% decrease to your crit chance. For certain classes, crit isn't that important. For certain agility ones, such as hunters who stack mastery and then haste and all that kind of stuff, crit is like their last priority. It doesn't really matter. They're not too worried about it. So that change really isn't that crucial for them. But for a demon hunter such as ourselves, it is pretty huge, considering crit is our secondary stat, or our main secondary stat, besides agility, which is a main stat, so that doesn't really count. But since it's our number one secondary stat, it is pretty massive that we're losing 5% crit. Pretty upset about it. When I log on to the PTR, I see that I only have 43% crit instead of 48, and that's pretty depressing considering some of the bad luck streaks that you that you encounter during raids. Sometimes, like there have been some times where my annihilation crit percentage was about 20% with 53% crit during combat because of my Eye of Command. So for it to be reduced to 43% and me barely ever, almost never probably breaking 50% crit, yeah, God knows where my crit chance is going to be when I get a bad luck streak then. Now I know more than likely that's happening because of tuning, because of them being too worried that the power creep when Nighthold is introduced is going to be too high. I know certain tier sets and all that kind of stuff that specifically target the Demon Hunter, especially I think it's our 4th set, that increases the crit chance of our Chaos Strike by 10%. I know they don't want to let the power creep get a little too far with that, because if they keep our 10%, so let's say I'm at 48%, right? And then I was able to get the Nighthold gear on Mythic, which I think is equivalent to Legendaries, which is around, or a little bit under Legendaries. I think it's 10 eye level, so I think it's like 900. So then, 900 eye level gear, that the crit on that is probably ridiculous, right? So I'd more than exceed 50%, and on top of that, I'd also have 10% added to my Chaos Strike. So if I was to do the math right, or the power creep was able to reach that, technically I would have a 70% chance to crit with Chaos Strike. Now that's huge. Now with the loss of 5%, that might mean that now with the power creep and all that kind of stuff being introduced from the higher eye level, I still might get like around a upper 60% chance to strike to crit strike with Chaos Strike. So it's not that bad. So I understand that. I understand they want to control the power creep, but for now, when 715 hits, if Nighthold isn't out, which of course it's not going to be, it's going to suck for raids, because I'm going to be nerfed by 5%, and the balancing isn't going to be there until Nighthold releases. Another one is Imprison. Imprison now imprisons a demon beast or a humanoid, regardless if it's PvP or not, so that's pretty interesting. It's now a 15-second cooldown instead of a 10-second cooldown, and that's about it for now. The major ones are the Talons. What's going to be happening here is that Fellblood is being taken away from the 100 tier to the 99 tier, and Chaos Cleave is being introduced to the 102 tier, and that's about it for any slots being changed. I'm really upset that Fellblade is now in the 99 slot because that means it's also sharing a slot with Fel Mastery. Now, for those of you who were watching my older videos, you know that when I was first playing the Demon Hunter, I loved using Fel Mastery with Felblade. I thought it made the Demon Hunter class very fluid because you would just Fel Rush to the target, then you would instantly do a 180 with your camera and Felblade right back in, and it felt pretty awesome. Obviously, Bloodlet was on a far superior level than Felblade was back then, so I couldn't really use it once I started figuring out what the hell I was doing. So, I mean, but still, it was nice. I kept messing with my other Demon Hunter and letting him know that, hey, possibly they're combining Bloodlet with Felblade, and how awesome would that be? But obviously that'd be a little too broken. So yeah, instead of me getting that hoop dream, instead it got completely annihilated, and yeah, I'll probably never be able to use Felblade ever again. GG. Other than that, yeah, that's we're just gonna look here for the actual spell changes now. So for the talent changes, the first one is Blind Fury. It's now being changed that I-Beam generates 35 Fury every second for its duration. Also, its duration is increased by 50%. I tested this one out on PTR. It was pretty bad considering that our first tier is now basically our Fury generators. So unless you just want to sit there auto-attacking the entire time and waiting for I-Beam to reset so you can gain a big dump of Fury, it's pretty horrible. I don't think this will ever be used ever. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, there's no depending on how many targets it hits or how many times it crits or anything like that. No, it's just 35 Fury so long as it's dealing damage, and it's not very good. So Felblade stays the same. The only thing is that it's been changed. Fel Mastery is still the same. The next tier, everything is the same except for Demon Blades. Demon Blades is getting nerfed by 10%, which is really annoying. More than likely that's happening because a certain legendary called Ring of the Half Giants. I know a lot of you Demon Hunters probably know about this one. That's one thing that's really annoying because I'm more than positive, confirmed, that kind of that is our class is being gated behind a legendary, and I can't. It's one thing that's really annoying. I really cannot stand a class being gated behind a legendary, and probably the worst on top of that is also they're getting tweaked because of that legendary being so broken. And oh my goodness, I don't know, it's really annoying. I mean, I'm doing well, but when I do 460k DPS on the Thendra and I'm only parsing 75 purple, like, that's pretty annoying. For my eye level, I'm parsing 98, right? But but when you check the percentage level based on all Demon Hunters for your item level, it's subpar. So it's really annoying because I don't have that ring. So even if I do over 400k on just strictly single target, it's still really bad. So I'm just like, okay, well, that's good to know that my class is being tweaked around a freaking legendary. But oh well, we'll get over that. Hopefully eventually I'll get that half giant ring and I won't have these complaints anymore, but someone else will. So oh well, vicious cycle continues. Demonic Appetite, now instead of saying it has a chance, it now has a flat percentage. I tried that one out in PTR as well to see how effective it would be. Obviously 25% chance means 1 in 4 chaos strikes. That's in a perfect world. Not gonna happen in Warcraft. It's still terrible. No one's ever gonna use it. No thank you. Chaos Cleave, or for the next tier, which is 102, Chaos Cleave, they changed it to where it no longer hits an additional target for 50%. It now hits all targets around the Chaos Strike for 25%. So that's pretty interesting. Definitely on the fence about that one to see if it's better than Bloodlet for AoE. More than likely, it's probably only going to be better for more than plus 4 targets, because Bloodlet, it hits 3 targets with a Throw Glaive and puts a bleed on all of them, so it's like consistent damage. But at the same time, Chaos Strike and Slash Annihilation when we're in meta is pretty huge. So I don't know. It all depends. We'll see what happens with that. I'm definitely not a lab monster, so we'll see what other people can come up with when it comes to that kind of stuff. Other than that, everything's gonna stay the same. Oh, there's a 5% damage increase to Nemesis. I'm not really sure if that's going to be used at all. I'm pretty sure Momentum is still going to be king. There's another one to Fell Eruption, but Fell Eruption, I guess, again, like I said, is shared with Momentum, so I highly doubt those talents are going to be taken. I know Nemesis and Momentum for certain fights might be changed, but Fell Eruption definitely, no matter if it got a damage increase, Fury cost reduction, and a cooldown reduction buff, it doesn't matter. Fell Eruption is definitely not going to take the place of Momentum and or Nemesis. So so that's about that with talents. So for the upcoming changes for the Demon Hunter, it's looking like they're going to be making us lean towards more the AoE side of things. I know a lot of people have been complaining that, oh, Demon Hunter's like single target, this and that, and from the looks of it on PTR, they don't really care to give a single target. We're definitely going to be the class that is going to be under ad management, which isn't bad. I mean, we still get really strong single target bursts from Metamorphosis, so we still get to experience that. Also, our AoE during a Metamorphosis is pretty insanity, so we might have some of the strongest burst openers depending on what kind of fights are going to be introduced into Nighthold. So I'm not too worried. Honestly, if you were to main swap from a Demon Hunter, it would, I guess the only credible excuse would be for that you would want to do more single target damage. Now, one thing that I heard in the rumor mill was that Nighthold isn't going to be having any true like patchwork slash kind of like Nethendra or heroic Nethendra, not really mythic Nethendra, because there are ads when people get mind controlled. Anyways, that they won't really have any true single target fights. That a lot of things are gonna have ads, or they're gonna have like one big ad. They're just gonna have cleave targets to make everybody have a job, really. And I'm not sure how badly that's gonna affect people that are true single target damage, but I know they're gonna be having fights in which ads are going to be introduced a lot, and they're going to be pretty heavy and prominent in most fights for Nighthold. With all that said and done, I'm still in love with the Demon Hunter. I think it's perfectly fine class. I don't really care whether it's single target or multi-target. It's still a beautiful class, and I love playing it. It's a lot of fun. I know sometimes I'd rather just stand still and just knock over the target and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes that gets boring, and having Fell Rush and all that kind of stuff really helps. But I mean, that's what ults are for, different play styles. But yeah, if you guys still have any questions, anything like that, feel free to ask me in the comments. Like I said, I still get a couple messages here and there. I don't mind getting them in game. Trust me, they're not a bother. If I don't respond, it's because either I'm busy or anything like that. But like I said before, I have a no spam chat, so if you do happen to whisper me and you don't get a whisper right away, I will eventually see it, because I always check my no spam thing to see if I get any whispers or officer chat, anything like that. So but yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you could please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later for the next build. Thank you.